Hello and welcome to Double B's Garage. Thanks for watching today. Today we're going to be taking the 993 Turbo 1997 down to get smogged. It's been 2 years since it's been smogged in California. You have to do it every 2 years. And for some reason, this car, every time it gets smogged, it needs a star certified smog shop. I think maybe just because the car is, one that's typically modified, or maybe it's flagged in their system. Not my car, but that general car. So I have to clean all this stuff out, lower the car, uncover it, start her up, and head down to the smog shop. So enjoy. Normally it's not this messy in here. This 4-post lift that the 993 is sitting on, I bought from Advantage Lifts, and it's a 9,000 pound lift. It's a 4-post, as you can see, and I bought the rolling jack underneath so you can jack up one end of the car and have the wheels off for brakes or to get access to certain things that you're working on. The other nice thing I like about it is you don't have to bolt this to the ground because it's 4 posts. There's wheels that come with the lift. I don't know if I can get one out right now, but these right here, these lock into pins on the lift like this. As it's coming down, the lift loads into those little casters, and then it lifts the whole, all 4 posts off the ground. So you actually get, you have the ability to move the lift around in your garage wherever you want, so you can relocate it to different positions. And if the surface is smooth enough, this race deck flooring is not really smooth, even though it probably still would work, lower it down with a car on there and move the lift around and change directions, and then just raise it back up and take those casters out. It's really, really cool. Advantage Lifts, I've been super happy with them. I don't have any affiliation with them, but I looked around a lot before I bought this one, and my buddy and I, it got delivered to my house. And I think 4 hours and 4 beers later, I think it was up and running and we were ready to load a car onto it. So with no extra parts, which is key. It's been a wonderful car. I dropped the motor in, did a top end rebuild on it. I upgraded the turbos with inside billet material, so it spins a little faster. Otherwise the turbos are factory stock. It's got Techart mufflers on it. It's got a lot of turbo S bits, including the Ruf Wheels. And then it's got about 68,000 miles, but I also did the case through bolts, did the timing, did everything I could top end wise when I took the motor out, really just to kind of address some oil leaks. But I figured since I might as well do the top end rebuild at the same time. It's so much time to get it out into that phase of the motor. You might as well rebuild that stuff when you're there, even though it didn't have many miles on it. It doesn't smoke, it runs flawlessly. But it was seeping at the cam chain boxes, like a couple other areas. But I mean, everything else was really good. So now she's completely dialed in. She's only got maybe 1,000 miles or less since I did that work. And I'll show you some video a little later when we're at the smog shop. But thanks so much for watching so far. And we'll be on the road here in a few minutes. All right, we're off. Now, I haven't started this car in probably better part of 4 months. I've been working to finish the Lamborghini, as you saw in the other videos, and then recently that 98 Mercedes AMG. So I've been working on that lately. This car by far is one of my favorites, and one really that, they talk about the posters on the wall as a kid. This was mine. I worked on many different Porsches. 930 turbos, 914s, older 911s, 92 C2s and Carrera 4s, both Targas, convertibles. And what I would do is buy them, fix them up, motor work. If it needed paint work, I would take that to the body shop, but of course I would strip all of that stuff first, and then get them back and sell them and make a little profit. And I would keep doing that, and eventually all of those jobs, or all those kind of mini restorations, helped me pay for this about 9 years ago, or 8 years ago or so. And I've been really happy with it. The car is so fun to drive, and a blast. To drive, but I just don't get it out that much. Hence me taking it to get it smogged and starting it up for the first time. This is the last of the air-cooled turbos. This was a 3.6 liter, 409 horsepower from factory, and the car did somewhere in the 180-ish miles per hour range in 1997. They did make a 1998 turbo, but I don't think that was sent into the US. So the 97 this year was the last US spec'd 911 turbo that you could buy. They did not make another turbo until 2001, which in that year, you know, is the 996 body style, which came out in 99, but the turbo came in 2001, and that had water-cooled heads. Still a 3.6 liter, still a very similar motor. It's the Metzger-based motor that this car had, but they had a lot of issues with them. The 3.4 actually was the first car. The turbo was the 3.6. They had a lot of issues with the IMS bearings on the non-turbo vehicles. They were water-cooled. They shared the headlights with the Boxster, and a lot of people did not like that at all. So a lot of people didn't buy the cars, or at least the values of them didn't do well after they were purchased. This car has gone up in value significantly. Mainly, I mean, all of the older 911 air-cooled cars have gone up in value. I mean, the market right now, as you can see, with any used car, it is insane. A lot because of the shortage of the vehicles, you know, microchips and all the other stuff that happened during COVID with production and supply. So we're taking it down to get it smogged. Should be fun. I want to let the oil kind of warm up a little bit. You have to do that really on any turbo car. Well, really any car, because the oil's a lot thicker, and you need the oil to warm up and thin up so that I can lubricate the turbos appropriately. And I upgraded the insides of the turbos to billet. The company that did them is out of Florida. I'll have to get that name. I don't remember it right now, but they did. The owner's name is Charlie. They did an amazing job. But what happens is with the billet insides of the turbos spool up about 600 RPMs earlier. So you get into boost much quicker because they spin up quicker, which is really nice. And then I also had the ECU on the car lightly flashed. So instead of 0.8 bar of boost, which is factory, it now does 1 bar. So with the turbos and the boost upgrade, I'm probably somewhere 75 to 80, 75 more horsepower than factory, which, you know, in a car this light, I mean, you're almost 480 horsepower. You can feel that pretty quickly, and it's addictive. Here we are at the Smog shop. She's under the knife. Shouldn't be anything surprising. Car doesn't get driven a lot, but the readiness codes are all set, so it should be good to go. Sounds good with those Tecarts on there. See the billet valve covers. A little bit of the Techart muffler there. should be good. She passed Smog. Woo! Crossing my fingers on that one. These cars can be very difficult to get the readiness code set. It's like the secondary air injection system and the EVAP and the CATs and the O2s, and I don't know all of the things that it is, but it's roughly 6 different systems, at least in this car anyways. And you have to go through this kind of strenuous process and do it methodically to make sure that the car is set. So I have a code reader at home, which the nice thing was I was able to see that all the readiness codes were set, so at least I knew that going in, but there's still a worrisome that something's not set up, especially on these cars when you don't drive them, which I don't drive this car a lot. No, I should be driving it more, but I just, you know, life and responsibilities. The other thing about this car that's kind of cool, but at the same time is unfortunate, is this car does not have a back seat. It has a rear seat delete feature, which offers storage compartments that fold down towards the back of my seats that I'm sitting in right now. And then there's like a flat parcel back there, like a parcel shelf where you can put, you know, luggage on or bags or something like that, which is fantastic. The problem is because the back seat is not there, I can't put my daughter in the car, and I also can't put her in the front seat because in this car, you can't shut off the airbags. So if I could shut off the airbags and I could put her in the front seat, then that would be legal. But because of that, she can't go in this car at all until she's old enough to sit in a seat basically by herself and have a seatbelt, which is going to be years from now. I may or may not have the car then. You know, the car is not for sale. Really, every car I have is not for sale, but I always say you just have to buy me out of my emotional attachment, and then it's yours. Some people aren't willing to pay that emotional premium, which I understand, but it's this car's kind of been a love. It's the longest car I've ever owned. 8 years is a really, really long time. It's almost the longest relationship I've ever had, except for with my family. It's just a blast to drive, and I can't see myself selling it, even though the market right now is just insane. But it's that way on a lot of cars. It's not just this car. It's not the only one that's having this kind of strong push in the used cars market that we talked about earlier. So anyways, the car is smogged. She's a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed the content today. A little different than what I typically am doing, even though I don't have many videos, but it's something that I thought was informative. It's such a fun car to see and drive. I figured you guys would enjoy it. And if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. And again, thank you for watching.